When your mind is restless, you close the very door you wish to open. You push, you force, you chase, and in the chase the thing you seek slips further away. But when you learn to breathe, when you learn to be still, the world around you begins to move toward you. Power is not in tension, power is in release. The fighter who is tight will tire, but the one who is calm will endure. Life is the same. The river does not struggle to flow, yet it reaches the ocean. The tree does not rush to grow, yet it touches the sky. Relax your grip on the outcome, trust the flow. What is truly yours already knows the way to you, and the more you relax, the faster it will arrive. When you chase something, you declare that it is separate from you. You place it outside yourself, far away. Like a shadow you can never quite grasp. The more you run, the more it slips from your reach. To chase is to confess that you do not already have. That is the illusion. The race never ends, because you run in circles of your own desire. The mind believes that movement always means progress, but running without direction is only motion, not arrival. A man can run his whole life and remain in the same place. He sweats, he tires, yet he stands exactly where he began. The illusion of chasing is mistaking exhaustion for achievement, mistaking effort for fulfillment. You see, chasing is rooted in fear. Fear that you will miss what is meant for you. Fear that if you pause, it will disappear. But fear blinds the eyes and stiffens the body. When you chase from fear, you no longer see clearly. You stumble, you force, and the thing you want becomes even more hidden in the fog. Have you noticed how the hunted deer runs faster than the hunter? The one who chases is always behind. The more desperate the pursuit, the greater the distance grows. This is why chasing is an illusion. It convinces you that speed brings closeness, when in truth, speed only reveals how far you still are. In chasing, self becomes small. Your worth is measured by the distance between you and the thing you desire. You no longer live in the present moment. You live in a future that never arrives. You are alive, yet you do not feel alive because all of you is reaching out instead of standing firm. Chasing teaches dependency. You believe the prize will complete you, that without it you are lacking. But this is false. Nothing outside can fill what you refuse to see within. The illusion is that arrival will heal you, when the truth is that wholeness is already here. You do not chase the air you breathe, yet it sustains you endlessly. Desire is natural, but obsession is poison. When desire turns into a chase, it transforms into chains around your spirit. You are no longer free, for every step is determined by what you pursue. And a man who has no freedom of step has already lost, no matter how close he seems to victory. Consider water. Does water chase the rock? No, it flows around it, over it, through it, until the rock itself yields. Water is not in a hurry, but it always arrives. Chasing is like a storm, loud, restless, violent, but it destroys more than it gathers. The quiet stream, patient and calm, accomplishes more in silence than the storm does in fury. When you chase, you lose sight of yourself. Your identity becomes tied to the object. If you gain it, you feel powerful. If you lose it, you feel broken. But this power is false, for it is not yours. True power is in knowing that you remain whole, whether the prize comes or goes. To forget this is to be trapped in the illusion forever. Chasing is the ego's trick. The ego whispers, run faster, then you will be enough. It paints a finish line on the horizon, yet every time you reach it, it moves further. It laughs as you sprint endlessly. To break free, you must see that the finish line never existed. The race was a dream created by the ego's hunger. Ask yourself, what is the nature of pursuit? It is restless, impatient, filled with tension. And tension weakens the body, clouds the mind. A fighter who is tense cannot strike with speed or accuracy. A man who chases cannot see the openings that life presents. He is blind to the very path that would lead him to peace. The illusion of chasing is that it promises satisfaction. But satisfaction built on pursuit is temporary. Once you hold the prize, the hunger for another begins. You trade one chase for another. It is a cycle without end, the treadmill of desire. You run and run, but the landscape of your heart never changes. To chase is to live in tomorrow, not today. But tomorrow never arrives. It is always a day away. The present moment slips away while your eyes fix on a horizon. Life is only ever now. If you lose the now, you lose life itself. This is the deepest illusion of chasing. It steals life while promising fulfillment. Consider the hunter who stands still, patient, silent. The animal comes to him, drawn by stillness. This is the truth of life. That which belongs to you will approach you when you are aligned, not when you are desperate. The chase is an illusion because it tells you force is needed, when in truth presence is the only requirement. The body teaches us. When you chase sleep, it will not come. But when you release, when you lie down and surrender, sleep covers you gently. This is the nature of all things. The harder you grasp, the further it slips. The softer you hold, the closer it stays. This is the great paradox of the chase. The illusion also lies in speed. Many believe faster is better, but faster is only frantic. The mountain does not grow in a hurry, yet it becomes eternal. The bamboo does not rush to rise, yet it grows tall and unbreakable. Life honors timing, not chasing. Rushing is man's illusion. Patience is nature's truth. Chasing creates conflict within. One part of you runs, the other part resists. You divide yourself in two, and divided men cannot stand strong. Unity is strength. Fragmentation is weakness. The illusion is that you are whole while chasing, but in truth you are split, half here, half there, and never fully alive. Many confuse ambition with chasing. They are not the same. Ambition is the fire within, chasing is the fire that burns you. Ambition is rooted in creation, chasing is rooted in lack. The illusion is thinking they are equal, but one expands your soul, the other drains it. Know the difference, and you are free. The path of the warrior is not to chase, but to attract. He sharpens himself, horns his skill, strengthens his spirit. In doing so, opportunity comes. Victory comes, recognition comes, not because he chased, but because he became magnetic through mastery. The illusion of chasing is forgetting that growth itself draws all things. Imagine the sky. Does it chase the birds? No, it simply exists, and the birds fly within it. So too with life. What is meant for you will dwell in your space naturally. Chasing is believing you must run after the bird, when in truth, the bird is already flying in your sky. Chasing demands attachment. You say, I must have this or I am nothing. But attachment is suffering. When you tie yourself to outcomes, you hand away your freedom. The illusion is that possession brings security. But real security is in detachment, in knowing that you lose nothing that was truly yours. The more you chase, the more you reveal that you lack trust. Trust is the anchor of peace. Without it, the waves toss you endlessly. Chasing is a boat without anchor, drifting wherever the storm commands. But the one who trusts is steady, even as the sea rages. Trust turns chaos into calm. The illusion thrives because society feeds it. The world says run faster, earn more, grab everything before it's gone. But look closely. Many who have gained everything are still empty. They climbed mountains of gold and found nothing at the peak. The chase is a game of shadows, and shadows cannot nourish the soul. To awaken from this illusion, you must shift your view. Instead of asking, how do I catch it? Ask, how do I align with it? Alignment dissolves the chase. When you are in harmony with yourself, the things meant for you flow naturally. What once seemed far now arrives at your door without effort. So see through the illusion, my friend. The chase is a mirage in the desert. You run thirsty, but the water is never there. Stop running. Realize that the oasis has always been beneath your feet. When you relax, when you stand still, you will see clearly. What is yours has always been waiting. Not out there, but here. Stillness is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength, for it takes power to remain unmoved when the storm rages. A man who cannot sit still is a slave to his restlessness, but a man who can be calm in chaos becomes master of himself, and mastery of self is the beginning of mastery of life. The world teaches you to move faster, to always be in pursuit, yet stillness teaches you to observe, to see what rushing eyes cannot. A still fighter sees the openings before they appear. He does not waste energy in panic, but conserves it until the exact moment of truth. This is why stillness wins, because it waits with clarity. When water is still, it becomes a mirror. It reflects everything with perfect clarity. When the mind is still, it too reflects life without distortion. But when you stir water, the reflection shatters. In the same way, when your mind is restless, you cannot see reality as it is. Stillness restores truth, and truth is the path to victory. Stillness is not the absence of action, but the perfection of timing. The archer who pulls the bow must hold still before release. The swordsman who strikes must wait in silence before the blade flashes. Victory does not belong to the one who moves first, but to the one who moves rightly. And only stillness gives birth to right action. In stillness, you hear what noise hides. The voice of intuition, the whisper of opportunity, the warning of danger, all are silenced when the mind races, but when you are still, you tune into a higher frequency. The signal becomes clear. This is how stillness wins, by giving you access to knowledge that chasing will never reveal. The restless man spends his life reacting. He jumps at every sound, every shift, every fear. But the still man responds, not reacts. He chooses his movement carefully, like a brushstroke on paper. One line, precise and deliberate, can create a masterpiece. This is the art of stillness, economy of motion, and economy of spirit. Stillness is misunderstood as doing nothing, but to do nothing on the outside while everything within is awake. This is discipline. It is easy to swing wildly. It is hard to hold steady, to watch, to breathe. The weak are restless. The strong are still. Stillness wins because it is controlled power, not wasted energy. When two fighters clash, the frantic one tires first. His arms grow heavy. His breath shortens. The still one waits, conserving strength. Then, in the right moment, a single strike ends the battle. It is not the number of moves that brings victory, but the timing of the move. And timing is born from stillness. Stillness is alignment with nature. The mountain does not chase the wind, yet it endures through centuries. The moon does not rush to shine, yet it lights the night effortlessly. Nature teaches patience, and in patience lies dominion. Stillness wins because it follows the eternal laws of existence, not the illusions of urgency. A restless man seeks to control the outcome, but control is an illusion. Life cannot be forced into your design. The still man surrenders, yet through surrender he gains power. He bends like bamboo, and because he bends, he does not break. Stillness wins because it flows with the river instead of fighting its current. In combat, hesitation is fatal, yet hesitation is not the same as stillness. Hesitation is fear, stillness is readiness. One is weakness, the other is preparation. The still fighter does not freeze. He waits balanced, grounded, unshaken. When the moment comes, his strike carries the weight of silence turned into force. Noise is distraction. Movement without intention is noise. Many fill their lives with noise, thinking it makes them alive. But noise exhausts the spirit. Silence, on the other hand, strengthens it. Stillness wins because it is silence turned into presence. And presence has more power than all the noise in the world. The man who is still becomes unshakable because he is not tied to constant change. The winds of fortune may shift, but he remains steady. When life throws chaos, he does not scatter. When others panic, he stays centered. This is true victory, to remain unmoved when the world itself trembles. Stillness is strategy. In the battlefield of life, those who rush reveal their hand. They show their weakness in their impatience. But the still one hides his strength. He studies, observes, and acts only when the advantage is absolute. The impatient burn out. The still outlast. In the end, the still man wins because he endures. A candle flame dances wildly in the wind, but when the air is still, it shines steady. The human spirit is the same. Restlessness shakes it, but stillness makes it luminous. Only in stillness can your inner flame burn without interruption, and a steady flame is brighter than 1,000 sparks of chaos. To be still is to be free. Chasing binds you, rushing enslaves you, but stillness liberates you from time. In stillness, past and future dissolve, and only the present remains, and the present is where life truly lives. Stillness wins because it returns you to the only moment that ever existed now. Stillness is not laziness. It is the highest efficiency. The warrior who waits for the perfect moment saves years of wasted struggle. The man who listens in silence understands in minutes what the loud miss in a lifetime. Stillness is the ultimate shortcut, the hidden road to truth. This is why stillness always wins. Restless people believe action defines them. They say, I am what I do. But the still man knows, I am what I am. Action flows from being, not the other way around. To chase identity in constant doing is to live a lie. Stillness wins because it roots you in being, and from being springs authentic action. Imagine the ocean. Its surface may rage with waves, but deep below it is silent, unmoved. Stillness is the depth of the ocean inside you. The one who only lives on the surface is tossed around endlessly. But the one who finds his depth, his still center, cannot be shaken. Depth is power. Depth is victory. Stillness is awareness sharpened. When you are still, you see details invisible to the restless. You hear the faintest sound, sense the slightest movement. The world reveals its secrets to the one who waits in silence. This is why stillness wins. It expands perception, and perception is the first weapon of victory. The restless man seeks shortcuts through force, but force without alignment collapses. The still man trusts the natural unfolding. He understands that the flower blooms when the season is right. Forcing the petals only destroys it. Stillness wins because it honors timing, and timing is the true architect of destiny. Stillness cultivates patience, and patience cultivates power. A seed cannot be rushed. It must rest in the soil. Only in silence does it break open, and from stillness life is born. The impatient dig it up, killing its growth. The still man waits, and in waiting, he becomes witness to the miracle of unfolding. The ego hates stillness, because stillness exposes its lies. Ego thrives on noise, on drama, on constant proving. But when you are still, ego has no place to hide. It fades, and your true self emerges. This is the greatest victory, to defeat the illusion of ego, and only stillness holds this power. When you are still, you learn trust. You see that what is meant for you does not require frantic motion. Life is already moving toward you, if only you stop running away from it. Stillness wins because it transforms trust into reality, and reality into fulfillment. The world cannot take from the one who trusts. Stillness is not retreat, it is triumph. It is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is not silence, it is clarity. The restless run endlessly, but the still arrive. The restless burn out, but the still endure. In the end, the race does not belong to the fastest, but to the calmest. This is why stillness wins. To let go is not to lose. It is to release what was never yours to control. Many hold tightly to things, thinking strength is in the grip. But strength is in knowing when to open the hand. A clenched fist cannot receive, but an open palm is ready for everything. Letting go is not weakness. It is wisdom. The science of letting go begins with understanding attachment. Attachment is a rope tied to your spirit. The tighter you hold, the more it cuts into you. Pain does not come from the loss itself, but from your refusal to release, like a man pulling on a burning rope. You bleed not because the rope is there, but because you will not let go. In combat, a fighter who clings to one strategy becomes predictable. He cannot adapt, and therefore he loses. The science of letting go is the science of adaptation. When you release attachment to one way, one path, one outcome, you gain freedom to flow, and the one who flows cannot be trapped. To let go is to trust. Trust that life carries its own intelligence. Trust that timing is wiser than force. The seed does not cling to its shell, it breaks free and grows. If it refuses to let go of what once protected it, it will never touch the sun. Growth demands surrender. The mind holds grudges, fears, failures, victories, but clinging to any of these is poison. Yesterday is dead, tomorrow unborn. If you hold the corpse of yesterday, its weight will bury you. Letting go is burial for the past. Only then can you walk light, free, and alive in the present. Consider the breath. You cannot inhale unless you exhale. Holding the breath will suffocate you. Life itself teaches the science of letting go with every breath. Release is not death. Release is renewal. You die in every exhale, and you are reborn in every inhale. The cycle continues only through letting go. The science of letting go is balance. Too much grasping creates suffering. Too much detachment creates emptiness. Balance is knowing when to hold and when to release. Like a bow drawn too tight will snap, and a bow too loose cannot shoot, so must life find its middle tension. Letting go brings harmony. Fear whispers, if you let go, you will lose everything. But fear lies. In truth, when you let go, you lose nothing real. You only lose illusion. The illusion of control, the illusion of permanence, the illusion of ownership. What is real remains, and what is false fades. This is the precision of letting go. Many confuse letting go with forgetting. They are not the same. Forgetting is denial. Letting go is acceptance. Forgetting buries, but letting go releases. To let go is not to erase what was, but to free yourself from its chains. You honor it, then you release it, like a bird set free from a cage. The tight grip is a reaction of fear. The open hand is a gesture of courage. Courage is not in holding on, but in trusting enough to release. The coward clings to what he knows, afraid of the void. The brave let go, and discover that the void was never empty, but full of possibility. In martial arts, you cannot strike effectively while holding tension. The clenched body slows the strike. Only by letting go of stiffness can the movement be fast and free. This is science. Relaxation creates speed, and speed creates power. Letting go is not philosophy alone. It is physics. Letting go is not escape. It is engagement with reality as it is. Escape runs away, but letting go stands firm and accepts. When the storm comes, the tree that refuses to bend is broken, but the tree that releases its stiffness sways and survives. Stillness is not resistance, it is surrender to truth. Every relationship in life has its season. Some are blossoms that stay for spring. Some are roots that endure forever. The science of letting go is knowing the difference. To hold on to blossoms in winter is to suffer. To recognize their season has passed is wisdom. Letting go honors the cycle of nature. Anger is fire in the heart. The more you hold it, the more it burns you. To let go of anger is not to forgive the wrong, but to free yourself from its grip. The fire consumes only the vessel that carries it. Release the fire, and you will find peace in the ashes. Letting go reveals strength you never knew. A swimmer thrashes in water, fighting, drowning. But when he releases his panic, when he surrenders, the water itself holds him up. This is the paradox of surrender. In yielding, you rise. In letting go, you are lifted. The science of letting go is also the science of creation. Every artist knows this. If you cling to the first stroke of the brush, you cannot paint. You must let go of each line, each mistake, each perfection to make way for the whole masterpiece. The masterpiece is born through release. Control is an illusion. The river cannot be held in your hands. You may build dams, but sooner or later the water breaks through. To let go is to step out of illusion and into truth. The river flows whether you hold or not. Better to float with it than to drown in resistance. Pain lingers when we refuse to release it. The wound heals, but the mind picks at the scar. Letting go is not erasing the wound, but allowing it to close. You cannot stop the skin from healing, but you can keep reopening it. Science teaches that healing is natural. Letting go allows it. Letting go is not laziness. It is action in its highest form. The archer lets go of the string, and the arrow flies. Without release, there is no flight. Holding forever is stagnation. Movement comes only when you allow what is held to be released. The science of letting go is rooted in impermanence. Everything passes. Joy, sorrow, gain, loss. To hold on to one is to resist the natural flow of time. Letting go is acceptance that change is law. He who accepts change moves with life. He who resists it is crushed by it. The heart that clings cannot love freely. Love is not possession, it is presence. To let go is to love without chains, to allow the other to be, not to be owned. Possession suffocates, freedom nourishes. True love is the art of holding lightly, of letting go when needed. And in that letting go, love grows. The science of letting go is also the science of trust in yourself. You cling because you do not believe you will be okay without it, but you will. When you let go, you discover your own strength. The branch you clung to was never the source of your survival. You were. Letting go requires presence. You cannot release what you are not aware of. Many carry chains they cannot see. They live in tension, unaware it is self-created. Stillness reveals the weight, and once you see it, you can let it fall. Awareness is the doorway, release is the step through. Even death is a form of letting go. The body releases the breath, the spirit releases the flesh. This is not tragedy, it is transformation. Life itself is an endless cycle of holding and releasing. To learn the science of letting go is to prepare for the final release with peace, not fear. So, my friend, letting go is not defeat. It is victory over illusion. The rope burns, the fists ache, the heart clings. But when you release, you become free. The science of letting go is the science of living. It is the art of breathing, the art of moving, the art of being. Only the free can live, and only those who let go are free. Pressure is rigid, flow is free. Pressure forces the world into shape, but flow allows the world to shape itself. When you live by pressure, you are always fighting against time, against people, against yourself. But when you live by flow, you discover alignment. What you seek comes with less effort, because effort becomes effortless. Pressure is tension in the body. It tightens the muscles, slows the strike, clouds the breath. Flow is relaxation in motion. It is speed without force, strength without stiffness. In combat, the fighter under pressure burns out quickly, while the fighter in flow moves endlessly, his body light, his spirit unbroken. Society teaches pressure. Work harder, grind, never stop. But nature teaches flow. The river does not grind its way to the sea. It simply moves. The wind does not push with strain, yet it carries ships across oceans. Nature shows us that flow achieves more than pressure ever could. Pressure is born of fear. Fear of failing, fear of missing out, fear of not being enough. Flow is born of trust. Trust in yourself, trust in timing, trust in the unseen order of things. Where pressure collapses under fear, flow expands through confidence. Trust transforms struggle into movement. In martial arts, pressure makes the body stiff. A stiff punch breaks on impact. Flow makes the punch alive. It adapts, it bends, it curves, and because of this, it carries power. The difference between victory and defeat is often the difference between pressure and flow. The problem with pressure is that it narrows vision. You see only the obstacle, not the openings. Flow expands vision. It allows you to see beyond the block, to move where there is space. The one who flows is never trapped because he does not fight the wall. He moves around it. Pressure seeks to dominate. Flow seeks to harmonize. Pressure says, I will conquer. Flow says, I will join. The conqueror may win a battle, but the one who harmonizes wins life itself. A man of pressure takes, a man of flow receives. Which victory is greater? Under pressure, the mind races, it doubts, it hesitates, it second guesses. In flow, the mind disappears. There is no thought, only action. The strike comes without calculation, the movement arises naturally. Flow is freedom from the burden of thought. Pressure is heavy. It weighs on the heart, it drains the spirit. Flow is light, it lifts you, carries you forward, almost without effort. To live under pressure is to drown. To live in flow is to float, to glide, to be carried by the river of life instead of drowning in it. Pressure demands control. Flow embraces surrender. The man of pressure clenches his fist tighter, believing that control is strength. But the tighter the fist, the less it can hold. Flow opens the hand, and because it is open, it holds everything. Surrender is not defeat, it is the highest form of strength. Pressure forces results, flow attracts them. When you push too hard, you drive things away. But when you move with flow, things are drawn to you. The flower does not pressure the bee, yet bees come. Flow is magnetic, pressure is repellent. One repels what it desires, the other attracts it naturally. The student who studies under pressure memorizes but does not learn. His mind is tight, his knowledge rigid. The student who studies in flow absorbs like water. He is curious, open, alive. Knowledge flows into him because he allows it. Wisdom is not born in pressure, it is born in flow. Pressure is loud, restless, noisy. Flow is silent, calm, subtle. But silence is not weakness, it is presence. The loudest storm cannot outlast the quiet mountain. Pressure shouts for recognition, flow needs none. Stillness is the loudest victory. When you push water, it slips away. When you flow with water, it carries you. This is the lesson of life. Pressure cannot hold water. It leaks through every crack. Flow becomes water, and water becomes victory. That is why I said, be water, my friend. Pressure is unnatural. The tree does not force its branches to grow, it simply grows. The sun does not pressure itself to rise. It simply rises. Only man, forgetting his nature, tries to force what already wants to happen. Flow is the return to nature, the remembrance of the way. The man of pressure seeks perfection, and in seeking he destroys it. The man of flow accepts imperfection, and in acceptance he finds beauty. Art is not created under the strain of pressure. It is born in the freedom of flow. Creativity is the child of flow, not the slave of pressure. Pressure says hurry. Flow says wait. Pressure fears time. Flow trusts it. The impatient build fragile things that collapse. The patient build things that last for centuries. The Great Wall was not built in pressure. It was built in flow, brick by brick, with steady rhythm. Pressure resists. Flow adapts. Resistance breaks. Adaptation survives. The branch that resists the wind is snapped. The branch that flows with it bends and rises again. Survival belongs not to the strongest, but to the most adaptable. This is why flow always wins over pressure. Pressure creates conflict within. One part of you pushes, the other part resists. You become divided against yourself. Flow unites. It makes your body, mind, and spirit move as one. Unity is power. Division is weakness. Flow wins because it is whole. The man of pressure fears failure. He pushes to avoid it, but fear itself makes failure certain. The man of flow welcomes failure, for he knows it teaches. He does not resist the fall. He uses it to rise again. Flow turns failure into a teacher, while pressure turns it into an enemy. Pressure burns energy quickly. It exhausts, drains, empties. Flow replenishes energy. It nourishes, sustains, strengthens. Like a runner who finds rhythm moving without struggle, flow allows you to go further than pressure ever could. Endurance belongs to flow, not force. Pressure is rigid. Like stone, flow is soft. Like water, yet water wears down stone over time. What is soft outlasts. What is hard? This is nature's law. Pressure may seem strong for a moment, but flow wins in eternity. The man of pressure seeks to prove himself. The man of flow seeks to express himself. Pressure fights to be seen. Flow simply is. Expression is natural, proof is forced. In the end, expression inspires, while proof is forgotten. Flow lives forever. Pressure fades. Pressure fights against life. Flow dances with it. Pressure is resistance. Flow is rhythm. Life is music, and those who move with its rhythm create harmony. Those who fight against it create noise. Flow wins because it turns life into art, while pressure turns it into struggle. Pressure may give short victories, but flow brings lasting triumph. Pressure forces, but flow aligns. Pressure drains, but flow renews. Be like water, soft, patient, yielding. Yet in that softness lies the greatest power. Flow does not fight, and because it does not fight, it cannot be defeated. Desire is a fire that begins warm but can burn uncontrolled. At first it gives direction, but when it grows wild, it blinds you. You see only what you want, not what is before you. In this blindness, you miss the opportunities that already surround you. Thus desire, instead of guiding you, becomes the very wall that blocks your path. A man driven by desire is like a horse with blinders. He charges forward yet sees nothing to the left or right. He may run fast, but he runs without awareness. Life is not a straight line. It is full of turns and hidden doors. When desire narrows your vision, you miss the doors that lead to freedom. Desire whispers promises. If you have this, you will be complete. But this is illusion. You chase the desire, and when you reach it, the satisfaction fades quickly. Another desire takes its place. Arrival is never true, because the hunger creates another hunger. You run endlessly, never arriving, because desire itself moves the finish line. In combat, the fighter who desires victory too much becomes reckless. His hunger makes him impatient. He strikes without timing, and timing is everything. Desire blinds him to openings, blinds him to traps. The fighter who releases desire and stays calm sees everything clearly, and clarity is victory. The problem with desire is attachment. You tie your worth to the thing you seek. If you get it, you feel powerful. If you lose it, you feel broken. But both feelings are false. Your worth is not in the prize, it is in your being. Desire blocks arrival because it convinces you that you are incomplete until you hold something outside yourself. Imagine a man clutching sand. The tighter he grips, the more it slips through his fingers. Desire is like this. The harder you cling, the faster it escapes. Letting go allows the sand to rest in your palm. But the one consumed by desire never lets go, and thus loses everything he tries to hold. Desire creates pressure. Pressure creates tension. Tension slows movement, clouds judgment, and breaks rhythm. Flow is lost. And when flow is lost, life cannot deliver its gifts. Arrival is not forced, it is allowed. Desire is the wall that keeps you from allowing. A river flows to the sea, naturally, but if the river desires to reach faster, it cannot. If it fights its own current, it will lose itself in chaos. In the same way, desire does not speed arrival, it delays it. Life already knows the way. Desire only disturbs the course. Desire is noise in the mind. It drowns out the voice of intuition, the whispers of truth. You hear only the scream of I want. But wisdom is soft, subtle. To hear it, you must be still. When desire shouts too loudly, you cannot hear life guiding you. You move, but you move in the wrong direction. The man of desire is never satisfied. Even when he holds the prize, he asks, what's next? This is endless hunger. But the man without attachment can enjoy what he receives fully. Desire blocks arrival because it teaches dissatisfaction, and dissatisfaction makes you blind to the arrival that has already happened. A flame consumes fuel until nothing remains. Desire consumes the spirit in the same way. If you let it rule you, it leaves you empty, exhausted and restless. True arrival does not burn you out. It nourishes you. But desire burns because desire is never gentle. When you desire something too much, you resist the present moment. You live in the future, imagining the day you will arrive. But life only exists now. If you resist now, you resist life itself. The future cannot be lived, only the present. Desire blocks arrival because it drags you out of the only place arrival happens here. Desire is not the same as vision. Vision gives direction without attachment. Desire clings, demands, and suffocates. Vision allows space. Desire strangles space. The man of vision arrives because he walks steadily. The man of desire stumbles because he runs blindly. A fisherman who desires the catch too much pulls his line too quickly and loses the fish. The patient fisherman waits, trusts, allows. In the same way, desire pulls too soon, breaks the line, and loses the blessing. Letting go is the true hook. Patience is the true net. Desire is fear disguised as ambition. Fear that you will not have enough. Fear that you will not be enough. Fear that without this prize your life is incomplete. But fear blocks the door. Courage opens it. Letting go of desire is courage, for it means you trust life to give what you need. Arrival is alignment. It is when your spirit and the moment meet in harmony. Desire is misalignment. It pulls you ahead of the moment, makes you reach before the fruit is ripe, and when you pull too soon, the fruit is bitter. Arrival happens only when readiness and timing meet. Desire ruins timing. The greatest artists, fighters, and thinkers do not cling to desire. They act from presence, not hunger. The painter who desires praise will ruin his art. The fighter who desires victory too much will lose. But the one who forgets desire and acts in pure flow creates beauty, mastery, and victory without struggle. Desire blinds you to what you already have. You reach endlessly for more while ignoring the abundance in your hands. You starve while sitting at a feast. Arrival is blocked not because it hasn't come, but because you do not see it. Gratitude reveals arrival. Desire hides it. A restless heart cannot attract peace. Desire is restlessness. It makes the soul vibrate with tension. Peace is quiet, gentle, still. When you chase with desire, peace retreats. But when you release desire, peace comes to you. And peace is the true arrival, greater than any prize. In martial arts, when you desire to win, you lose focus on the present strike. Victory is a byproduct, not the target. Strike clean, move with clarity, and victory arrives. Desire blocks this, because it obsesses over the end while forgetting the means. The one who stays present wins. The one who desires loses. Desire creates comparison. You look at others wanting what they have. Comparison breeds envy. Envy breeds suffering. You lose sight of your own path, and in chasing theirs you delay your own arrival. Flow cannot exist when the heart is poisoned with comparison. The illusion of desire is that it motivates, but motivation built on hunger is fragile. When you don't get what you want quickly, you collapse. True motivation is not built on desire, but on purpose. Purpose endures storms. Desire breaks in disappointment. When you are consumed by desire, you cannot listen. You speak too much, act too fast, rush too hard. Silence becomes impossible. Yet it is silence that reveals the way. The science of arrival is patience. The enemy of arrival is haste. Desire breeds haste, and haste leads to mistakes. The seed does not desire to be a tree, it simply grows. Desire blocks arrival because it interrupts the natural unfolding. Growth happens without obsession. The flower blooms not by wanting, but by being. Life is the same. Desire pulls you away from being, and so blocks blooming. So my friend, understand this. Desire is not the path, it is the detour. It tricks you into running in circles, while the door stands open before you. Release desire, and you will see clearly. Trust the flow, and you will arrive. The one who lets go receives everything. The one who clings receives nothing. True strength does not roar. It does not need to shout to be seen. Like the roots of a great tree, silent strength holds everything in place while remaining hidden. What is loud may impress for a moment, but what is quiet endures. Silence is not absence of power. It is its purest form. Many mistake noise for force. They think the strongest man is the one who strikes the hardest or speaks the loudest. But strength is not found in aggression. Silent strength is the discipline to hold back when provoked, to stand calm when tested. Power without restraint is weakness disguised as fury. The ocean teaches this truth. Its surface may roar with waves, but its real power lies in the silent depth below. The deeper the water, the calmer it becomes. In the same way, the deeper your spirit, the quieter your strength. Depth is silent, yet it cannot be moved. Silent strength is not about hiding. It is about mastery. The fighter who controls his breath, his mind, his heart. He does not need to show off. His silence is not emptiness. It is preparation. When the moment comes, his strike carries the weight of stillness turned into force. Noise seeks recognition. Silence seeks nothing. Yet it is silence that commands the greatest respect. A man who boasts reveals insecurity. A man who remains quiet shows confidence. Silent strength is knowing you are powerful without the need to prove it to anyone. Silent strength is patience. The tiger waits in the grass, unseen, unmoving. It does not waste energy with noise. When it strikes, it is precise, unstoppable. The lesson is simple. Patience magnifies power. To move too soon is weakness. To wait in silence is strength. In combat, silence is awareness. When you are quiet inside, you hear everything. The breath of your opponent, the shift of his weight, the hesitation in his eyes. The noisy mind cannot hear these signals. Silent strength listens, and listening is often the most powerful weapon. Silent strength is also the ability to endure. Noise resists pain, cries out and breaks. Silence accepts pain, absorbs it, transforms it. The body may be struck, but the spirit remains unshaken. This endurance is not loud, but it is invincible. The tree that bends silently in the wind does not snap. The mountain that stands silent in the storm does not fall. Strength is not in fighting the storm, but in withstanding it without noise. Silent strength does not resist for show. It survives because it endures. The ego despises silence because it cannot be fed by it. Ego thrives on noise, on being seen, praised, feared. Silent strength dissolves ego because it needs no witness. It is strength without vanity, power without mask. The ego is loud, the self is silent. Silent strength is not passive, it is active stillness. The bow is silent before release, yet it holds immense energy. Silence is the gathering of force, the storing of power, waiting for the perfect moment. Those who mistake silence for weakness do not understand that silence is often preparation. A man of silent strength carries peace with him. He does not disturb the space he enters. He calms it. His presence speaks louder than words, his stillness louder than noise. To possess such strength is to be a living reminder that power is not in chaos, but in order. The loudest warrior in the room is not the deadliest. The silent one is, noise reveals nerves, reveals insecurity, reveals distraction. Silence conceals intent, conceals readiness, conceals mastery. Silent strength is mystery, and mystery itself is power. Silent strength is also forgiveness. To forgive requires more power than to strike back. Anger is easy. Silence in the face of anger is strength. The one who forgives is not weak. He is so strong that retaliation is unnecessary. His silence is victory over ego. The greatest movements in nature are silent. The earth spins without sound. The stars move without noise. Even your own heart beats quietly, sustaining your life without needing applause. Silent strength is the law of existence. What truly sustains is rarely loud. Silent strength is the ability to walk away. Anyone can fight, but it takes mastery to know when not to. The weak man clings to battles to prove himself. The strong man chooses only the battles worth fighting. His silence is not fear, it is wisdom. Noise tries to control others. Silence controls the self. Silent strength is rooted in discipline, the discipline to master your impulses, your emotions, your reactions. To conquer yourself is greater than to conquer 10,000 men. That conquest is always silent. In teaching, silent strength is presence. A master does not need to shout. His silence commands more respect than noise ever could. Students learn not from the words alone, but from the calm authority of his being. The lesson is lived, not spoken. Silent strength is unshakable confidence. The loud man doubts himself, so he raises his voice. The silent man knows himself, so he does not need to. His silence is not emptiness, but fullness. Confidence is quiet because it has nothing to prove. To cultivate silent strength, you must train both body and mind. Strength in the body without silence in the mind becomes arrogance. Silence in the mind without strength in the body becomes fragility. Balance both and you will carry power that cannot be broken. Silent strength is invisible until it is tested. You may not notice it in daily life, but in crisis it reveals itself. The man who panics has no strength. The man who stays calm in disaster holds everything together. His silence in chaos is what saves him. Noise is fleeting. Silence is lasting. The loud victory fades with time, forgotten like an echo. The silent strength of character endures forever. Reputation built on noise collapses. Reputation built on silence remains unshaken, because it was never seeking approval. Silent strength is freedom from desire. Desire screams, I must have this. But silence says, I already am. A man who is whole within does not chase outside himself. His strength is rooted, unshakable, independent. That independence is silent, and therefore unbreakable. Silent strength is harmony. It is the merging of body, mind, and spirit into one quiet force. When you are in harmony, you do not need to push. You move naturally, effortlessly, powerfully. The harmony is not loud, but it is undeniable. This is the secret hidden in silence. So remember, my friend, true strength is not in noise, not in force, not in display. It is in silence. The silence that endures, observes, adapts, forgives, and stands unshaken. This is the secret of silent strength. It does not announce itself, yet it cannot be defeated. The loud fade, the silent remain. The path you walk is not always visible. Sometimes the road disappears beneath your feet, yet you must continue. Trust is the bridge between what you see and what is unseen. To walk only when the road is clear requires no courage. To step into the unknown, that is the essence of mastery. Trusting the invisible path begins with faith in yourself. If you doubt your own legs, you cannot walk. If you doubt your own heart, you cannot endure. The path is invisible because it is waiting for your step to create it. The moment you trust, the ground appears. The invisible path is not empty, it is potential. The seed cannot see the tree within itself, but it trusts the unseen process of growth. If it doubted, it would never break open. The invisible is where life hides its power, waiting for those bold enough to trust it. When you fight, you cannot see every strike coming. You must trust your body, your training, your instinct. The invisible path of combat is guided not by sight alone, but by awareness. Trust allows you to act before the mind calculates. Without trust, hesitation kills the strike. Fear is the greatest enemy of the invisible path. Fear demands certainty, but certainty is an illusion. Nothing in life is guaranteed. The one who waits for guarantees will wait forever. Trust is the weapon that cuts through fear. With it, you move forward even when nothing is clear. The invisible path is revealed through stillness. Noise and panic make you blind. When the mind is calm, you sense direction in subtle ways, a whisper of intuition, a pull of the spirit. The world does not shout the way, it murmurs. Only those who trust silence can hear it. To trust the invisible path is to release control. The river does not see the ocean, but it flows anyway. The bird does not see the destination when it takes flight, yet it flies. Control is illusion. Trust is reality. Life carries you if you allow it. When the archer draws the bow, he cannot see the arrow's exact flight. He must trust his stance, his breath, his release. The arrow's path is invisible until it travels. So too is life. You prepare, you align, then you trust the release. Without trust, the arrow is never shot. Many do not walk the invisible path because it feels uncertain, but uncertainty is the birthplace of discovery. If you only walk where the road is visible, you will only repeat what has already been done. The invisible path is where new creation lives. It belongs to the pioneers. Trusting the invisible path is like trusting the roots of a tree. You cannot see them, yet they hold everything. A man who trusts only what he sees is shallow, like a tree without roots. The man who trusts the unseen is deep, unshakable, anchored in what others overlook. The invisible path is faith in timing. You may not see the fruit forming inside the bud, but you trust that it grows. Impatience digs up the seed. Trust allows the seed to stay buried until it's time. What you cannot see is often more important than what you can. In combat, the opponent may hide his intentions. His movement may seem unpredictable. But if you trust your awareness, you see patterns even in the unseen. The invisible path of battle is not about seeing every detail, but about trusting the flow that reveals openings. Walking the invisible path requires surrender. You surrender the need for answers. You surrender the craving for control. You walk because walking itself is truth. The step becomes more important than the destination. This surrender is not weakness. It is courage in its purest form. The invisible path is not linear. It twists, turns, disappears, reappears. If you demand straight lines, you will be lost. If you allow curves, you will continue. Trust is flexibility. The rigid man breaks when the road bends. The trusting man bends with the road and survives. When the night is dark, you may not see the road ahead, but you still walk guided by instinct, guided by the stars. Trusting the invisible path is walking in the dark with confidence that light will come. Without trust, you freeze and never discover the dawn. The invisible path is built through action. Many wait to see before they step, but the path appears only after stepping. Action reveals what thought alone cannot. The science of trust is movement without proof. You move first, then the path emerges. To walk the invisible path, you must trust not only yourself, but life itself. Life has an intelligence beyond your mind. It moves in ways you cannot plan. The invisible path teaches humility, that you are not the sole architect of your destiny, but a participant in a greater design. Trusting the invisible path is freedom. The visible road is safe, but it is crowded. The invisible one is open, unclaimed. When you trust it, you walk without comparison, without competition. The invisible path is yours alone. No one else can walk it for you. Fear of failure blocks the invisible path, but failure itself is part of it. Every fall teaches you to rise. Every mistake sharpens your vision. Trust means seeing failure not as the end, but as a step on the road. The invisible path includes both triumph and fall, and both are necessary. The invisible path is spiritual. It asks you to believe in things beyond the material. You cannot see loyalty, but you feel it. You cannot see love, but you live by it. The most powerful forces in life are invisible. To trust them is to trust the very foundation of existence. The warrior who trusts the invisible path is fearless. He does not need to see every outcome. He moves, adapts, responds. Fearless not because he knows everything, but because he trusts enough to walk even when he knows nothing. His trust makes him untouchable. The invisible path is revealed in small steps. You cannot see the entire mountain trail from the bottom. You see only the next step. Trusting the invisible path is focusing on the step, not the peak. If you take each step in trust, the summit will come naturally. The invisible path cannot be explained to those who demand proof. They will laugh, doubt, resist. But the wise do not wait for proof. They trust the call within. The invisible is not for those who fear mystery. It is for those who embrace it. In silence, the invisible path becomes clear. Noise fills the mind with doubt, but silence clears it. When you are still, you sense direction without maps, without signs. The invisible path speaks to the quiet heart, not the noisy one. Silence is the compass. So remember, my friend, the greatest journeys are taken on paths you cannot see. The visible road repeats what has already been done. The invisible road creates what has never existed. Trust the step, trust the process, trust yourself. The invisible path is not uncertain. It is the most certain thing of all, because it leads you to who you truly are. Calmness is not emptiness. It is power concealed. When you are calm, you radiate a force that needs no effort. People, opportunities, even solutions are drawn to you. This is the calm magnet effect. By being still, you attract what restless chasing can never capture. The restless man pushes things away with his urgency. His energy shouts and life recoils. But the calm man draws things near. His silence whispers, and the world leans in. The magnet of calm is stronger than the noise of desire. The calm magnet effect begins with presence. When you are fully here, others feel it. Your energy grounds them, steadies them. Presence is rare in a distracted world, so when you embody it, you become magnetic. Calmness makes you a beacon others cannot ignore. In combat, the frantic fighter is predictable. His movements are desperate, easy to read. The calm fighter, however, is mysterious. He does not reveal his next move, and in his stillness lies power. Opponents fear him because they cannot pierce his silence. Calmness is confidence without words. It says, I am enough without speaking. This quiet certainty is magnetic. People trust the calm man because he trusts himself. The one who shouts his strength is doubted. The one who embodies it silently is believed. The calm magnet effect is rooted in energy. Every thought, every breath, every posture radiates something. When you are calm, your energy says, I do not need to chase. I already have. And because the world responds to belief, it delivers what you already claim through calmness. Calm attracts clarity. The frantic mind is clouded, unable to see paths that are right before it. But the calm mind perceives openings, opportunities, truths. Clarity draws results like a magnet, because you can move precisely. Calmness itself becomes the strategy for success. People are drawn to calmness because it offers refuge. In a world of noise, the calm person is an anchor. Others lean toward him instinctively, like ships drawn to a lighthouse. He does not force influence. His stillness influences without trying. The calm magnet effect also applies to timing. A calm man waits, observes, holds his energy. When the right moment comes, he acts with perfect precision. The restless waste their force too early. The calm attract success by striking only when it matters. Calmness is not passive. It is controlled energy. Like a bow pulled tight, silent before release, calmness stores power. When released, it is unstoppable. The world senses this hidden force, and it is drawn to it. People feel in their bones that calmness carries weight. Calmness is magnetic because it is rare. Everyone is restless, chasing, rushing. Few can sit in silence and be at peace. When you embody calm, you stand out without effort. The rare always attracts, and calmness is the rarest trait of all. Calm magnetism is not about charm or show, it is about authenticity. Calmness arises when you no longer wear masks, when you are whole within. This wholeness pulls others in. People trust those who are real, and calmness is the language of authenticity. A calm leader commands more than a loud one. Noise inspires fear, but calm inspires loyalty. When storms strike, followers cling to the leader who does not panic. His calmness becomes their calmness. His silence becomes their strength. Calm leadership is the highest magnet of all. The calm magnet effect is strongest in relationships. Love cannot bloom under desperation. The desperate push away what they long for. But the calm attract love because calmness says, I am whole with or without you. Wholeness is irresistible, for it frees others to simply be. In training, calmness brings mastery. A student anxious to learn rushes and stumbles. The calm student absorbs slowly but deeply, like water soaking into earth. Calm practice creates lasting skill, while restless practice creates shallow tricks. Mastery is drawn to calm. Calm magnetism is not only outward, it draws inward too. When you are calm, your own inner strength gathers around you. Ideas come more clearly. Solutions emerge, energy replenishes. Calmness is not just a magnet for the world, but for your own hidden resources. Calmness dissolves resistance. When you are calm, even conflict softens around you. Anger loses its grip, hostility fades. The opponent expecting noise is disarmed by your silence. Calm is a magnet because it transforms the environment itself. The calm magnet effect teaches patience. The impatient run in circles, exhausting themselves. The calm wait, and because they wait, life moves toward them. What you chase runs, what you allow comes. Calmness turns waiting into power, and patience into attraction. Calmness is magnetic because it signals strength. Weakness panics, strength relaxes. When you are calm, the world senses you cannot be broken easily. That resilience draws respect, draws trust, draws opportunity. Calmness is a silent declaration of power. The calm magnet effect also works with creativity. Ideas do not come under pressure. They flow when you are relaxed, quiet, open. The mind under strain produces noise. The calm mind produces brilliance. Creation is not forced. It is attracted by calmness. Calmness attracts abundance because it signals sufficiency. Desperation says, I lack. Calmness says, I already have. The universe responds not to need, but to belief. Calmness is the magnet because it carries the vibration of already being whole. Even nature reveals the calm magnet effect. Animals sense calm energy and approach it, but flee from fear or tension. A horse will not trust a restless hand, but it will rest against a calm one. Calmness speaks a universal language all beings understand. Calmness magnetizes because it is steady. Pressure fades, panic burns out, but calm endures. Endurance draws all things in time, because nothing outlasts what is steady. Calmness is not quick attraction, it is lasting attraction. What it draws, it keeps. Calm magnetism is the opposite of force. Force pushes, calmness pulls. Force demands, calmness invites. Force creates resistance, calmness creates openness. The calm man wins not by overpowering, but by allowing everything to come willingly into his orbit. So remember, my friend, calmness is not emptiness, it is mastery. When you are calm, you are magnetic. People feel it, opportunities sense it. Life itself moves toward it. This is the calm magnet effect. You do not chase. You do not force, you simply are. And because you are, all things are drawn to you. Patience is often mistaken for passivity, but it is not inaction. It is controlled waiting, an energy stored and refined. Like a bow drawn tight, patience gathers strength in silence. When the moment arrives, its release is devastating. Patience is not weakness, it is the preparation of power. A warrior who rushes strikes too soon and misses. A patient warrior waits for the opening, then finishes the fight with one blow. Power does not come from striking often, but from striking at the right moment. Patience is timing, and timing is victory. Patience becomes power because it resists desperation. Desperation scatters energy. Patience focuses it. The impatient burn out quickly, consumed by their own restlessness. The patient conserve their fire until it is needed most, and in that conservation lies strength. The tree teaches patience. It does not force its growth. Season by season, it stretches higher, deeper, stronger. When storms come, it does not panic. It endures, and in enduring, it becomes unshakable. The power of the oak is not in rushing, but in waiting. In combat, patience unsettles the opponent. The frantic fighter grows nervous, wasting energy on useless movements. The calm, patient fighter waits, and in his stillness he gains psychological power. His opponent begins to fear the unknown strike. This fear itself is power. Patience is the art of alignment. If you move before the world is ready, you fail. If you move when the world aligns, you succeed effortlessly. The sun does not rush to rise, yet every day it conquers the darkness. Timing is its power, and patience is its teacher. When patience is mastered, it becomes presence. You no longer live in the anxiety of the future. You rest in the moment, unshaken by waiting. This stability radiates power. People sense it, feel it, and are drawn to it. Presence is magnetic, and patience creates it. Patience also sharpens perception. When you are not in a rush, you see details others miss. You hear what is hidden, sense what is subtle. This awareness becomes advantage. Power is not always in speed, but in clarity, and clarity belongs to the patient. Impatience is noise. Patience is silence. Noise distracts. Silence listens. The one who listens gains information, and information is power. The patient fighter, the patient leader, the patient lover, all see more, know more, and therefore hold more strength. Patience is endurance disguised as stillness. Many can move fast, but few can last long. To endure is the highest form of strength, and patience is endurance of the spirit. Those who wait without breaking carry a power greater than any immediate force. In the pursuit of mastery, patience is the foundation. No skill is born overnight. Repetition, discipline, and time carve mastery into your being. The impatient quit too soon, but the patient become legends. Power in art, in combat, in life, all comes from patience. Patience becomes power because it calms fear. Fear demands quickness, demands escape. Patience slows the breath, steadies the mind, quiets the heart. In this calm, decisions are wise and movements precise. Fear weakens the impatient, but patience transforms fear into focus. When you are patient, you no longer chase. What you desire comes naturally, pulled toward you by your calm. Chasing repels, but patience attracts. The magnetism of patience is subtle but undeniable. This is power without effort, the strongest kind of all. Patience is a weapon in conflict. The one who reacts too quickly exposes weakness. The one who waits controls the pace. To control the pace is to control the fight. This is why patience is not only spiritual strength, but tactical advantage. Nature is built on patience. Rivers carve valleys over centuries. Mountains rise slowly yet stand forever. The impatient man burns like a spark, brilliant but brief. The patient man endures like stone, and endurance is the truest expression of power. Patience is trust in timing. It is knowing that everything has its season, its hour, its moment. To force before its time is to destroy. To wait until its time is to succeed with ease. Trust transforms waiting into wisdom. Wisdom is power in motion. Patience liberates you from the need for control. Control is heavy, exhausting, brittle. Patience is light, effortless, flexible. By releasing control, you move with life instead of against it. This harmony multiplies your strength, for you no longer waste energy resisting what is. In combat, the patient fighter is like still water. He reflects, adapts, and absorbs until the strike comes. His calm unnerves his opponent, who tires himself in vain attacks. Then with one movement, the patient fighter ends the fight. Stillness transforms into unstoppable force. Patience is discipline of emotion. Anger, frustration, and anxiety are chains. The patient man is not chained. He watches these emotions arise, then lets them pass. His control over himself gives him power over every situation. Mastery of self is the greatest mastery. Patience is invisible strength. It does not parade itself, does not shout, does not seek applause. Yet it wins battles silently. Many underestimate the patient man until they face him. By then it is too late, for his silence has become an unstoppable storm. When patience is paired with action, it becomes unstoppable. Waiting alone is not enough, but waiting with readiness, waiting with awareness, this is power. When the door opens, the patient man does not hesitate. He moves immediately because patience has prepared him. Patience is power because it outlasts resistance. Obstacles crumble not always through attack but through waiting. The wave returns again and again until the rock surrenders. This persistence is quiet but absolute. Power lies in what does not stop. Impatience demands answers now. Patience accepts mystery. Mystery is where life hides its greatest treasures. To accept mystery is to trust the unseen process. This trust transforms doubt into strength. The patient man does not collapse in the unknown. He thrives in it. Patience is strength because it preserves spirit. Impatience burns energy too quickly. Patience sustains it, builds it, multiplies it. He who waits wisely grows stronger with time, while the impatient weaken. Time itself becomes an ally for the patient. So remember, my friend, patience is not waiting idly. It is waiting with strength, with trust, with readiness. In patience, fear dissolves, timing appears, endurance grows, and power is born. The impatient shout, but the patient win. This is when patience becomes power. Most people know how to ask, but few know how to receive. They block what is meant for them with doubt, fear, and tension. To receive without resistance is to be open, like an empty cup ready to be filled. The closed hand cannot take anything, but the open hand receives with ease. Resistance is the wall between you and abundance. When you resist, you say, I am unworthy, or it cannot happen for me. These thoughts push away the gift that was already coming. To receive without resistance is to remove the wall, to allow life to flow into you. A fighter cannot absorb technique if his body is stiff. Relaxation allows the lesson to enter. So it is in life. If you are rigid, opportunities pass you by. If you are soft, open, flexible, you absorb them fully. Learning itself is an act of receiving without resistance. Many chase success, yet when it arrives, they resist it. They doubt it, sabotage it, or fear it. Why? Because deep inside, they believe they do not deserve it. To receive without resistance, you must first believe you are worthy. Worthiness opens the door for blessings to enter. Receiving is not weakness, it is balance. To give is powerful, but to only give is to drain yourself. To receive is to complete the circle of energy. The inhale and the exhale sustain life together. To receive without resistance is to breathe fully. The child receives naturally. It does not resist affection, guidance, or gifts. But as we grow, the mind builds walls of pride, fear, and suspicion. The science of living is to unlearn resistance, to return to the openness of a child. That openness is magnetic. To resist receiving is to reject growth. When life offers you wisdom through pain, do you resist it or do you receive it as a teacher? Resistance says, "Why me?" Receiving says, "Teach me." Those who receive even hardship without resistance gain a power others never touch. The calm warrior receives the energy of his opponent. He does not block with rigidity, but absorbs and redirects. In this way, resistance is transformed into flow. This is the principle of Jeet Kune Do. To intercept, to receive, to turn the opponent's force into your own. Receiving without resistance requires trust. Trust that what is given has purpose. Trust that timing is correct. Trust that life is wiser than your fears. Resistance doubts, but trust accepts. To live in trust is to live in flow, and flow brings everything to you. When you resist, you waste energy. The rock resists the river, and slowly it is broken. The reed bends with the current and survives. Receiving is not surrender to weakness, but surrender to wisdom. The reed receives the flow, and because of this, it remains. To receive without resistance is to accept compliments without shrinking, help without guilt, love without suspicion. Many refuse what is offered because they fear dependence, but receiving does not weaken, it strengthens. It nourishes both the giver and the receiver. The ego resists receiving. It says, "I must do it all myself." But this is pride, and pride is brittle. Humility accepts with grace. The humble man receives easily because he is not burdened by the need to appear invincible. Humility dissolves resistance. Receiving is also listening. To truly hear another person is to receive them without resistance. Most listen to respond, not to understand. But if you empty yourself, if you truly listen, you receive their heart. This builds connection deeper than words. The impatient resist because they want things their way at their time. But receiving requires patience. It requires surrendering control over how the gift arrives. If you demand control, you resist. If you trust, you allow. Allowing is the gateway to receiving. The universe is always offering. But are you resisting? Opportunities pass daily, yet most cannot see them because resistance clouds their vision. To receive without resistance is to open your eyes and recognize what has already been placed before you. Receiving is not passive, it is active awareness. The fisherman casts his net, then waits with openness. If he resists the waiting, he pulls too early and loses the catch. Receiving without resistance is patience combined with readiness. It is soft, but alert. Pain comes when you resist what is. If you fight reality, reality crushes you. But when you receive reality, even if it is hard, it transforms you. Suffering is resistance. Growth is receiving. This is why letting go creates strength, because it turns resistance into acceptance. The body itself teaches this truth. Muscles grow not when you resist rest, but when you receive it. Recovery builds strength more than endless effort. Rest is receiving without resistance, and rest is part of mastery. To deny it is to weaken. Many pray for blessings, but when they arrive, they resist them. They think, "This is too good," or "I do not deserve this." The prayer was answered, but the door was closed. Receiving without resistance means opening the door wide and saying, "Yes, I accept." In combat, resistance drains energy. If you fight every force head-on, you tire quickly. But if you receive, absorb, and redirect, you conserve strength. The same is true in life. Resistance depletes you. Receiving renews you. This is why softness is stronger than hardness. Receiving without resistance requires presence. You cannot receive what is here if you are lost in yesterday or tomorrow. Resistance lives in time, in regret and worry. Receiving lives in the present, where life actually happens. To receive, you must be here. Gratitude dissolves resistance. When you give thanks, you stop questioning whether you deserve. You simply accept with humility. Gratitude is the open door, and through it, everything enters. To receive without resistance is to live in gratitude for both small and great. The master receives every lesson, even from defeat. Resistance denies the lesson and repeats the mistake. Receiving accepts the lesson and grows stronger. In this way, failure becomes food, pain becomes teacher, and every step, even backward, moves you forward. To receive without resistance is to live in harmony. You no longer fight the flow, no longer block what wants to come. You become water, open, flexible, ready. Water does not resist the rain, it welcomes it and becomes greater. So too must you. My friend, receiving without resistance is not weakness but mastery. It is the art of openness, the discipline of trust, the strength of humility. Life is always offering, but only the open hands accept. Do not resist, allow. Receive, and in receiving, you will discover that you already have everything. Conclusion. So remember this, the outcome you chase is already moving toward you. You don't have to force it. You don't have to exhaust yourself. Your only task is to align with it, by being calm, by being steady, by trusting the timing of your life. The universe doesn't reward desperation, it responds to balance. When you relax, you create space. And in that space, what is meant for you finally has room to arrive. Walk forward with ease, not urgency. Trust that what sobs yours cannot be taken, and what isn't sobbed was never meant to stay. Breathe, let go, and watch how life delivers.